steady wisdom, Sthita Prajna. This is in the end of second chapter, from verse 55 onwards, almost till the end of the chapter. This segment is considered very important by the students of Gita, and many people memorize these shlokas, 15-20 shlokas, to constantly remind themselves of the ideals which we have to put into practice in our daily life. That is the main idea. We must study all the scriptures, so many holy scriptures, we can study all of them, memorize all of them. But unless we take a small number of ideals from those scriptures and put them into practice in our daily lives, then there is no use. It's all theoretical knowledge. The idea is to enrich our lives spiritually and become better beings in the first place and reach the ultimate goal of the divine as a long-term goal. Towards that end, practice is necessary. And these verses in this segment of the second chapter, they contain various ideals. At least some of them we should try to put into practice in our lives. Here, Sri Krishna is explaining how does a person whom we call Sthita Prajna, you will understand that phrase, behaves on a daily basis. These wise people of all cultures and of all ages, they have the same common characteristics. They remain steady and firm, anchored inside and concentrating their whole attention on the divine presence inside, and they try to remain as unaffected as possible from the vicissitudes of life that are inevitable in worldly life. The world is going to go on as it is. Some good, some bad in our lives, in the larger arena also, good and bad are always inseparably mixed in this world. That's the nature of the world. It has been like that from the beginning, and I think it will continue like that. And there's not much we can do to change things around and make it favorable to us always. It doesn't work. Weather, for example. You like it, you don't like it, that's what we have, we live with it. Do the best. Like that, other things in life which we cannot change, we have to learn to inwardly remain calm and remain undisturbed, unperturbed by those changes. That is the idea in this segment. The phrase, the term Sthita Prajna means awareness or consciousness. Awareness, Prajna. Sthita means steady or fixed. A person whose awareness is always constantly fixed, not on all external things which are always changing, coming and going, but always awareness is fixed firmly here in the self, in the presence of the divine within every one of us. The scriptures are saying that the same divine being, same divine presence is there in everyone without any exception. Some people are more aware of it, they manifest it in their lives. Some people are not aware of it, they don't make any effort to become aware of the divine presence inside, and they continue their lives of struggle. So this person, Sthita Prajna, has actually experienced the presence of the divine inside and is able to bring it out, manifest in the daily movements every moment in the life. See, these are the great people. These are the people whom we can call the salt of the earth. They are the essence. They are the shining examples. If we can see anywhere, we can find some. They don't have to outwardly appear something different with a very special dress and makeup and everything. They are just like all other ordinary folks. They go about their daily lives like everybody else. They do their duties, they go to work, they take care of their families, just like everyone else. Nothing to show outside in a very big way. But inwardly, they are at peace. They are firmly, their attention, their focus, their awareness is firmly anchored on the presence of the divine inside. And they have the inner strength and calmness to remain unperturbed by the changes, adversities, vicissitudes inevitable in everybody's life. It is such people who are their characters, their properties, how they react, how they behave. That is what they are trying to understand. The idea here being that if we can emulate in our own small, humble way their example, that is enough for us to achieve blessedness in this life. We don't have to strive to copy somebody else and be somebody else. I cannot be a great divine personality like all the great Mahatmas, but in my own small way, if I can imbibe a few of these ideals we can see in their life. They don't have to talk about it. They usually don't. They simply go about their daily business. But their life is a shining example to the rest. If we can take a few ideas from their life and put it into practice sincerely to the extent possible in our own lives, that is our work. That is the work in front of us. With that view, we try to understand what are those qualities of a Sthita Prajna. 55, that's where we began. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan parthananogatam atmanyev atmana shishtasya prajnastadocchite. Two ideas are given there. This person is able to handle with control the waves of kama, krodha, desire and anger and other disturbances that come in the mind. Those waves of disturbances that occur in our minds on a daily basis, they can be triggered by external stimuli or they can just start inside without any external provocation. Both are possible. Usually what happens, we go to work, somebody says something, somebody does something at work which you don't like or which affects your work, and then we become upset. It's very common. The same thing may happen in family life also. You come home from work and you expect something there and something else is there, and then you become upset. When such disturbances come from outside, this person has the inner strength and ability, inner calmness to remain unperturbed and handle the situation nicely. If we can remain calm, we can do what is required in a creative, nice, calm fashion. But if we become disturbed, we will aggravate the situation, make it worse. That is the quality being discussed here. Sarvan manogatan kaman yada prajahati. Here is describing the disturbances arising inside one's own mind without the help of external stimuli or provocation. The mind itself is capable of projecting thoughts, disturbing thoughts, desire, anger, etc. He talks about desire here, common, the same thing applies to other disturbances also. Suddenly a wave of anger comes. Something happened 20 years ago, someplace else, but that is still disturbing me in my mind. We carry that in our minds. We don't want to let it go. That is the nature of disturbances coming from inside. There's a shloka in the 5th chapter. Shuknoti haivaisoram praksharira vimokshanaat kamakrodotvavam evam ayuktas sasuki naraha. A person who is able to manage with control, sodam shaknoti, to bear, has the strength to bear calmly the waves that rage inside our minds. He gives to Kama and Krodha. An outburst of uncontrolled desire or uncontrolled anger may arise in the mind, with or without help of something happening outside. But when such a disturbance arises in the mind, this person has the inner strength and calmness to deal with it calmly, nicely, without becoming upset and with full control. So, Shaknoti is able to be Sayukta Sasukhina. That is 23 in chapter 5. And that ability has to be acquired now. It is not a distant, remote goal that we may simply keep in mind, make a note and yes, and they will be able to do that. But we have to have it now. The sense of urgency is indicated here. If we don't have it now, for example, money. I need a lot of money to pay the bills. I don't have anything now. 20 years later, I may get some money. But what good is that now? I need to have it. When the need is there, I need to have it. So, ihaiva, the word ihaiva means here in this life, prak sharira vimokshana. Before that moment of departure comes, we want to have it now. That sense of urgency is also indicated here. That is what this 55th verse is. The second idea, it's a very interesting idea. The second line, 55. Atmani eva atmana tushtaha. This is a very big and interesting topic. We discussed it at length earlier also. Here Sri Krishna says, second line of 55th verse, Atmani eva atmana tushtaha. Tushta means one who is content, one who is happy. Where does such a person's happiness come from? Atmani eva, inside. If we depend for our happiness and comfort on all external circumstances being favorable to us, that is not going to work. Sometimes they are, sometimes they are not. Usually they are mixed. Some aspect of our life is pleasant, agreeable, we enjoy it. At the same time, some other aspects of our life are not agreeable, they are painful, we don't enjoy. That's how generally it is. Sometimes this is more, sometimes that is more. That we generally cannot change substantially. We may make some small adjustments here and there, but that's going to be like that. That's the nature of the world. That's the nature of life. But if we depend on all external things being favorable to us, for us to be happy, if we make our happiness a function dependent upon favorable external circumstances, then that happiness is not going to be elusive. We may be happy or be unhappy. So we should not make our inner state of mind, our happiness, a function dependent upon external circumstances being favorable. Independent of external circumstances, whether they are favorable or not, we should learn to be happy from our own inward resources. What is the source of happiness inside? Outside have sources of happiness, we know. If you have a lot of money, we are happy. If children are very nice, we are happy. If children are not well behaved, we are unhappy. If family life is harmonious, peaceful, we are happy. So these are external circumstances. Sometimes they are, sometimes they are not. There's not much we can do about them. But what is the source of inward happiness then? Inwardly, the presence of the divine itself is the source of all joy. There is only one source of happiness in this whole universe, and that is within us all. That a little bit, a fraction of that inward joy comes back to us, reflected from external circumstances, sense objects and people, relationships, on we think it is coming from there. It's not. This will come up for a very detailed study in the 5th chapter again, 22nd verse. Well, we just understand this much, that we should look for happiness and peace inside, which is intrinsic, which cannot be lost, which does not diminish, which is our own, not external. The moment we look outside for external sources for our happiness, peace and contentment, then we are making ourselves dependent. We are really slaves in that respect of outside things, which we cannot control at all. Therefore, the sign of wisdom, a person of steady wisdom, Sita Prajna, is that such a person finds joy, unlimited, unconditional joy inside, which does not have to come from outside, which is independent of external conditions, which is always there, cannot be lost, which cannot diminish also. That is intrinsic, that is our nature. We are that. If you realize that, experience that one, then we are always happy. This is what the great sages have succeeded in doing. If you take any great sage Mahatma of any time or space, any century, we can see this. What did they have in terms of external property, house, family? Some of them had very bad family lives. Some of them didn't have anything at all in terms of possessions. Some of them, whatever little they had, they gave it away, relinquished and went away. But they were always absorbed in the joy of this self. So they were independent. They didn't have to depend upon what other people think about them, whether they get compliments from people or people blame them, they become unhappy. There was no such dependence in their case on external circumstances. They were independently always happy. That is a sign of wisdom. That is what a Mahatma, a great soul is. You can see that in the lives of all great people. Recently, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, in terms of possessions, what did he have? In the beginning, all he had was one piece of loincloth. Only one piece, no to change. And he would live in the cave on top of the hill in Tiruvannamalai, Arunachala hill. And there was a stream of water flowing. You can see that even now. A stream of water on top of the hill. He would wash that piece of cloth every day, take bath in it, put it back on his body, sit down. Always absorbed in the joy of the self. So that's an extreme example. We cannot all be like that. I'm not saying we should be like Ramana Maharshi. We cannot try to be somebody else who we are not. We have to, in our own way, practice that ideal. There is no need for all of us to give up our homes and ashramas wherever we live and go to some top of the hill in a cave. That's not necessary in an external way. But that idea of finding joy inside and remaining independent of external circumstances, finding the joy inside, touching base with that source of all joy, fountain of joy, present within us but hidden potentially. If we succeed in doing that, that is wonderful. That is what Sthita Prajna has been able to do. Atmani eva atmana tushtaha Sthita Prajna tada uch. But you might ask the question, what is wrong when enjoying outside things? What is wrong in enjoying money and food and property and, companionship and travel and all kinds of things available? There's no harm in doing that. But the difficulty is they are not steady. They come and go. Adyantavantaha bhaunteya nateshu dharmate buddha. Later section is going to say. The problem with dependence on external sources is they are not going to remain steady. Today they are very favorable, happy, we are happy. Next moment something may happen, whole picture may change. Whatever the same thing that gave us happiness today may cause a lot of pain tomorrow. This we know from our experience of life. Or it may happen slowly. Or it may happen dramatically in one moment. So this is the undependable nature of external things. And we know from our own experience, life experience, we cannot orchestrate all these things always to be in our favor. No one has been able to do that well. So that is not the way. The scriptures are saying the way to find happiness unconditional happiness, to be independently happy always, is to find it inside oneself where it is intrinsic. Cannot be lost. That is our nature. But it takes effort to do that one. It's easy to go outside and enjoy things. But this one, we have to struggle a little bit to find out, to touch base with the source of the world. It involves effort. It's not going to be easy. But that is the permanent solution to this. One question came up yesterday. We had on the study class last night. Someone was asking the question, if God is so perfect in every way, all powerful, all compassionate, all merciful, is perfect in every way, perfection itself, then why His creation is so full of imperfection? Why did He create such an imperfect world where only you see the pain and suffering and fighting and violence and all kinds of things? How can that happen? A perfect being creating an imperfect world. To understand, a little bit study is required. The answer is given by Swami Vivekananda in a very simple one-sentence statement. He has answered this question. In this book on Karma Yoga, small book, Karma Yoga, it has 8 chapters in it. There he has written this very simple sentence. The world is perfect as it is. When I read that one, it was startling. The world is perfect as it is. Which world is he talking about? What do we see in the world in which we live? The world in which I live is not perfect. I don't see any perfection there. Everywhere I turn, I see only imperfection there. And Swamiji says the world is perfect as it is. Come on, wait a minute. What does this mean? Then in the next sentence he explains what he means by the statement. He says, the world is perfect as it is, in the sense it is perfectly fulfilling the purpose for which it was created. There is a purpose behind this creation. If you believe in creation, etc., why this world is like this, some good, some bad. There is a purpose behind it, and this instrument, the world is an instrument to fulfill that purpose. It's serving that purpose perfectly. It's not beautiful, it may be ugly, but the purpose for which it was brought into existence is being fulfilled. How to understand that one? Now, I think of a simple example. You take the kitchen knife, small knife which you use in the kitchen to prepare vegetables. Now, what is not a thing of beauty. You just don't keep it in your showcase. It's just an ordinary instrument, and it is very useful. It is very sharp. If you are careless, it will cut your finger. It is not such a thing of beauty. It is an instrument. Now it can cause a lot of pain. If you are careless, if you use it carelessly, it can cause a lot of pain and injury here, that knife. But if you use it properly, if you understand why it is there, it can help us to prepare a nice meal, cut vegetables and things. For that purpose it is created. There is nothing beauty to look at. It is not an aesthetic piece of art or piece of object. It is a functional thing. The purpose for which it was created, namely to cut, it is doing perfectly. It can cause pain or it can serve our purpose. The world is like it is an instrument. It is created for a certain purpose. That purpose is being perfectly fulfilled by this world. What is that purpose? Swami Vivekananda explains later. This world is a moral gymnasium. This is the word he used. This world is like a gym. When you go to the gym, you don't expect to find comfort there. You go there prepared to work hard. If you have a personal trainer, he will not let you in peace. He will not let you rest between repetitions, between sets. He said, get up. He only give you a few seconds to rest between sets or between exercises. And he will keep you pushing. One more repetition, one more, 2 more, 5 more. You do like this. He will urge you. And you are grimacing and struggling to lift the weight or bench press or whatever you are doing. It's no fun. But you have to work. You go there to work hard. Why do you work hard? Why don't you remain comfortable watching TV at home and drinking Coke and munching potato chips? You go there expecting to work hard, and you work against resistance. As you learn to work against some resistance, the trainer increases the resistance. He will not let you free. You will put 5 more pounds on the marble, or you increase 5 more pounds in the weight machine. And now you do 15 repetitions or 12 repetitions. That is what is happening to us in this world. If the problems don't come, if everything is comfortable, then we remain comfortable, there is nothing to do. And stagnation will come, you don't grow spiritually. It is in adversity that we become stronger. It is in adversity that we become close to our source, the divine inside. In comfort, it is nice, but we are not growing, we are not learning. It is pain and suffering that is the greatest motivator. And that takes us closer to the self, the divine inside. It is meant for that purpose. The world is increasing the resistance constantly. It gives you some problem. You learn to deal with it after some struggle. Next time you'll get a little bit bigger problem. If you manage that one somehow with the struggle, next time you get a little bit bigger problem. This is a personal trainer. This world, the God is a personal trainer. He will not let you remain comfortable. He will increase the resistance every time. That purpose, once we do our learning, we become strong, meet our goals, then you are let go. You are free. Until then, it's going to be like this. This is the world. This world is a school. It is a learning place. It is a gymnasium. We come here, we expect to work hard. We face resistance, more and more resistance, until we learn and until we establish our oneness with the divine. Then our work is done. No more struggle, work at permanent peace, at peace. That is, the Sthita Prajna has reached that stage. Then the resistance does not bother. You have done your learning. That is why this world, Swami Vivekananda said, is perfect as it is. In the sense, the purpose for which it was created, it is fulfilling it perfectly, beautifully, like a knife. It can cause pain, it can hurt, but if you use it wisely, it does the purpose for which it was done. So, Atmani eva, Atmana Pushtaha, Yada, Tada Sthita Prajna iti Vachyate. Then, a person is said to be set to achieve steady wisdom, Sthita Prajna, we can recall. So that is the 55th verse. This verse is so nice, so significant. And when I think about it, I just want to continue to think about that one. It is so wonderful. Just 2 lines. But so rich, so rich, full of contents, wonderful ideas. Now we go to the 6th verse. Dukkeshvanuddvignamana Sukeshu vigataspruhaha Vitaragavaya krodhaha Sthitadhir munirvachyate. Another very nice verse, contains a very practical idea, something we have to try to practice. Here the message is practice of inward tranquility and equanimity. Equanimity means inner state of steadiness in the face of constantly changing external circumstances. That's the nature of the world. It's going to be changing. What was in the morning is not going to be in the evening. Any place, whether you come here to the temple or you go to your workplace tomorrow or you go back home from work. It's going to be constantly changing scenario like the waves on the ocean. Not going to be steady. But in spite of this constantly changing scenario outside, this person has the inward calmness and ability to remain inwardly calm and strong. Dukkeshu anuddvignamana. Sukha and dukkha are going to come in our lives, in everybody's lives. No matter how rich, how strong, how influential or powerful, does not matter. Sukha and dukkha, happiness and unhappiness, they are going to come in everyone's life. Dukkeshu anudvigdhamanaha. Udvega means excitement. Anudvigdhamanaha, this person remains calm, does not become excited. Somebody says something uncharitable, uncomplimentary to us, and we become so angry, upset, we want to retaliate, we want to yell and scream, or we bottle up the anger and suffer inside. That's not going to help. It will aggravate the situation. It will escalate the situation. In dukkha, what does Ithya Prajna do? In suffering, anudvignamanaha remains unperturbed. Cultivates that ability. Yes, this is going to happen. If not this, some other problem will come. If I take care of this, something else will come. But I will do whatever I can. But I will remain inwardly unaffected by it, unperturbed by it. That is the inner strength that this person has or tries to cultivate. Dukkeshu anudvignamanaha. When suffering, no longer perturb his mind. Sukheshu vigataspraha. When sukha comes, when comfort, happiness, praise, everything comes, then we become very elated, sometimes proud, sometimes arrogant. Oh, I've been able to achieve all of this. And we think it's going to continue forever. We become dependent on it. We become used to it. And we expect it to continue. That's not going to happen. So in sukha also, this person remains vigataspraha. When he sees us to cling to pleasures, clinging is not good. Dependence is not good. When it comes, we don't shun happiness. We welcome it. We enjoy it. When good things happen, we are not going to hate it or send it away. We welcome it. We are happy. We are thankful. Wonderful. We enjoy. Thank you for coming. But we know, we are fully aware that this situation may change any moment. With or without notice, slowly or gradually, or all of a sudden, things may change. When it happens, I am ready. I knew its nature. I am fully aware of the changing nature of things in life. And I am prepared for it. If good things come, I am happy, I am thankful, I enjoy. If good things leave, bad things come, that's okay too, I'll manage it. But I will remain inwardly unaffected. That is the resolution we have to make. That's the quality we have to cultivate. Dukkeshu anudvignamanaha, sukheshu vigataspraha, vitaraga bhayakrodaha. Raga bhayakroda. Three things. Raga means attachment. Attachment means sort of dependence. Good things come, we become attached to them. We become dependent to them, we become used to that, and we expect it to continue. It's not going to happen. It will change. So that dependence, that clinging, that is raga. We should be free from that. Vita means one who has conquered this quality of dependence and clinging to good things. Bhaya means fear. A person who has complete, total faith in the divine has no reason to fear. The Lord is my shepherd and I shall not fear. Very famous Pandita Swami in the book of Songs. The same idea. When we take recourse, refuge, at the feet of the Lord, what is there for us to fear? From where? From what does fear come? That is one way to practice fearlessness, total faith in the divine. Supposing that does not help us, or we cannot do that one, there is another way to become completely free from fear. That is described in the Upanishadic way. The Upanishad says, what is there to be afraid of? When we see the multiplicity means something other than me, outside of me, external to me, besides me, then I am anticipate loss, pain, suffering from that, then I am afraid of that. I am either attracted to it or I am turned away by it when I see the second. But according to monistic view, there is only the self. There is only one. Only he is there. Where is the I? Sri Ramakrishna said, when you search for the I inside, if you go deep, dive deep inside and look for the I, only he comes out. There is no I. The I completely emerges in the he, and only he is there. The self, Atman, is there. If you take that view, there is no second one outside to be afraid of or to be attracted to or to be turned away from. So the Upanishad, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, discussing the source of fear, here it is said, Dvitiyadvai bhayam avati. Dvitiya means the second one. If you see something other than God, other than self, then from that second thing I may anticipate fear, loss, danger, pain, then I'm afraid of that. Or I may be attracted to it, I want to have it. But if there is nothing else besides he, only he is all pervading, through and through. Even the world is nothing but he in disguise. If you take that monistic view, what else is there to be afraid of? Or to be attracted to? Dvitiyadvai bhayam, very famous, short, significant statement, but a lot of things in it. So in either case, we have to struggle with this question. Fear is a constant companion. Fear is a constant companion for almost all people. Only very few people have completely succeeded in overcoming fear completely. In my life, I met only 2 people who had no fear at all, absolutely, totally free from fear. I had heard about them, but then I met them. So opportunity came. So I asked each one of them, you see, I have heard that you don't have any fear. Is it true? They modestly, very want to publicize that you are afraid of anything. They just played it down. When I asked them, how can you be fearless? So many things happen. We anticipate danger from someone. There is no fear, nothing to fear about. And they always behave that way. In the face of extreme danger, I knew a little bit more about their lives. When things happen, we should shake anybody else in this world. When they happen to them, they remain perfectly calm. Both different kinds of circumstances. Perfectly calm. I could see that clearly in their lives. They were not boasting about it or publicizing it or throwing it out. So it is such a common problem, affliction, fear. We all have it to some extent, more extent less. But we have to eventually deal with it and try to overcome it. Vita, raga, bhaya. Third thing that afflicts all is krodha. Krodha means anger. Any small thing is enough to upset some people. The sugar is a little bit less in the coffee and person yells. Or salt is a little bit more in the sambar and person. This kind of anger, we have to work on it. It's not good for us. It spoils the relationship. No harmony in life, work life or family life. Not only that, it burns us from inside. Anger is like a flame. If you let it glow, if you let it burn, it burns us first. It may not do anything to the other person. If they become angry at you, then I may yell and scream at you, may just brush it aside and remain unaffected. But it continues to burn me. I am the one who suffers from the anger. So it is destructive. So we have to work. Anger also same. Why should I become angry? If I don't like something, then you can express that, do what you can. If not, bear it. Our karma theory comes to some help in this respect. Though it's always not a very good idea to remain passive, saying it's all my karma. But to some extent it is helpful. This is my karma. I will bear it. Swami Brahmarupananda has written somewhere that we become angry when things don't work out in our favor, right? So he says, no suffering comes to any being except as we have paved the way for it ourselves. Nobody can cause any pain or suffering to us. No one has the power to make us unhappy, give us pain and suffering, except as we have thwarted it, paved the way for it. No, I didn't want this suffering, it came. You don't know, did something to make it welcome. By my improper, unwise actions, thoughts and deeds done in the past, which I may not remember now, I am feeling the result of that now, and I ask question, why this is happening to me, why me? You must have done something to welcome it, to protect, knowingly, unknowingly, willfully, or unintentionally. Otherwise it cannot come. There is no such random suffering. It is always an antecedent. I may not be aware of it, I may have forgotten it, I may not remember it, but it is nothing comes. Except as we have paved the way for it ourselves. No suffering comes. It's only from the opening. So that karma theory to some extent helps us. Something I must have done. This has come and deal with it calmly, nicely, the best way I can. Remain unhurtful. Vidaraga bhaya krodha, anger. That same idea comes in the 12th chapter, 19th verse. Here Sri Krishna says, Tulya ninda sutir mauni santushto kena chit. 19th verse. We'll do it later. People always either blame us or praise us. Or say people will may do one thing today and next thing tomorrow. Today they are full of praise. Oh, you are the greatest, they will say. Okay, thank you. Tomorrow they will say you are the worst, you are the fool. Yes, okay, thank you also. In either case, I don't want to give my control to him to affect my mood. Then they will press the button. So that inner control, this person has. There is in the song of Sannyasin, Swami Brahmarupananda wrote 13 stanzas. One of them is, heed then no more how body lives or goes. Its task is done. Let karma float it down. Let one put garlands on. Another keep this frame. Say not, no praise or blame can be, where praiser praised and blamer blamed are one. Thus be thou calm. Sannyasin bow, say Om Tat Sat. People always blame us. People always praise us. Same people can do both at different times. It's going to happen. But in the face of all of these changing circumstances, what other people say or think about us or do to us, I will have the inward calmness to remain as unaffected by it as possible. But if something happens to us like that, or somebody talks something indirectly that I think is uncomplimentary, then I become so upset. Why we should do? That means I am giving the control of my happiness, equilibrium, to that person, whatever he thinks, whatever he says about me. He controls. Why? Why not I give the control here? It doesn't matter what he thinks or says. Really does not matter at all. Except in some work situations it may matter what other people think about you. But in the long run, they are also the same. You do what is right, what you think is right. If you have to say something, you say something. But remain calm. Even when you have to take a firm action, you can do it with calmness. It's just like disciplining a child. Your child does something wrong. 3-4 times you say it doesn't listen. They test your limits sometimes, children. Then what do? You have to do some discipline. But when you do the disciplining of the child, do you do it out of hatred or anger, or do it out of love? You may show anger outside. Oh, I'm going to ground you this weekend. You can't have a car, you can't watch TV, you can't stay at home, you can't meet your friends. You say like that, but all that is done, why? Not out of hatred, but you want the child to learn. Since it is testing you more, you have to be sometimes firm. But that firmness is also shown with concern inside for the child's future well-being. The same thing when a judge awards a sentence, he is not personally angry about this person. He did something wrong, and society has to be protected from his further degradations. So you have to ground him. We put him in jail. But that is a correctional action we have to take. It need not be done with anger and hatred. It has to be done calmly, in the larger interest of society. and in interest of that person too. So this is how great people deal with. So Veta, Raga, Bhaya, Krodha. Raga, Bhaya, Krodha. Undue attachment, dependence, clinging is Raga. Bhaya is all kinds of fear. This is going to happen, this is going to happen. Most of the time our fears don't materialize. We imagine so many things. But if they do it, so okay, we'll deal with it. When it happens, when we come to the bridge, we'll cross it. That is. Shankaracharya says, when difficulties come, even then we remain calm and deal with it. Chinta vilapa rahitam, he says. Difficulties are going to come in everybody's life, but we deal with it calmly, without chinta. Chinta means brooding about the past and brooding about what might happen in the future. Oh, this happened. Oh, that may happen, that's going to happen, like that. That is inwardly brooding. Vilapa means lamentation. Always talking about it, though other people also mentioning it and recounting it over and over again, living over that situation again and again. Every time you get an opportunity to talk to somebody, all they have to say is to say hi in the hallway. Then you stop. The next time they will not even say hi to you, they will go the other way when they say you. No, Vilapa is not good. We'll deal with it. It's going to happen. If not this, something else will come. So that's the nature of life. We are here. This is a school, this is a gymnasium. It's going to be painful. There's going to be increasing resistance. So deal with it in the best way I can. I'll spoil other people's mood also by recounting it all the time. So chinta vilaparatam saditiksha nigadyate sahanam sarva dukkhana prativa. So that is inward. Dukkeshu nidnamana sukheshu vigatasya vitaraga vaya krodha. Cultivating freedom from too much clinging, attachment, dependence, fear and anger. Stitadir muniruchyate. Such a person who remains calm and steady. Stitadir, indisposed. Such a person is a stita pramaya. Same ideas keep coming in several places in different contexts. The idea being that the more we hear, more we think about it, firmly the understanding comes to us. Reinforcement is necessary. 57th verse. Yes sarvatrana visneha.
Yes sarvatrana visneha.
Tat prapya shubhashubham.
Tat prapya shubhashubham.
Nabhinandati nadveshti.
Nabhinandati nadveshti.
Tasya prajna pratishtita.
Tasya prajna pratishtita.
More or less same idea here also. Sarvatra anavisneha tat prapya shubha ashubham. This is nature of life. Sometimes shubha we get, sometimes ashubha. Shubha means good things, auspicious things. Ashubha means bad things, inauspicious, disagreeable things. They are going to come in everybody's life. That's the nature of world. It's going to be there. So when such situations come, pleasant and unpleasant, in any sphere of life, this person of steady wisdom, sarvatra anavisneha tatat prapya. When such things happen, these persons remain detached. Sneha, the root word it means to stick to things. Sneha, like gum, sticking to things. Anavisneha means we remain detached. They always give the example of a lotus leaf, a lotus flower. You see that in the scriptures. How we should live in this world, like a lotus leaf or lotus flower lives in this world. Its whole life happens in water only. A lotus plant grows in water, it lives in water, then that's where it ends. But it does not become wet. Lotus leaf, when you see a lotus leaf, you put some water and the water will roll away. The leaf does not become wet, though it is always in water. So they give that example. A wise person lives in this world but he remains unaffected by the world. It is not like the good and bad things make him jump up and down. He remains calm. Where else can we go living the world? People sometimes ask me, oh, Swamiji, you have left the world. I have not left the world. I can't go any place else living the world. Wherever I go, the world is there. If I go to Himalayas to live there, that's also the world. Other people like me have gone there. We have some argument there also. Better to stay here where I be placed. Everywhere world is there. The world we carry inside our heads. It's not the outside world. The world is what we carry inside our heads. It's always with us. So wherever we go, we remain, try to remain as unaffected, at the same time doing our whatever we have to do properly with love and devotion. The dutifulness must be. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, live in the world, where else can we go? Live in the world with all the people with whom we have to live, with spouse and children and go to work and work with co-workers, everything. Let it continue. Do your work nicely, with devotion, with love. Work as an opportunity to serve everyone. And with great love we do our work, whatever we can do to the best of our ability, but keep the mind fixed on God, inwardly. There is a very nice book, I mentioned it several times. One of my favorite books. A classic in Western spiritual literature. The book is called Practice of the Presence of God. That's the title of the book. Practice of the Presence of God. This book was not written by anybody, but that book contains 16 letters, personal letters, written by Brother Lawrence in a Carmelite monastery in France in the 17th century. His real name was Nicholas Herman, and he was not a very highly educated in this scholarly sense person. He was born in the year 1611. Then there was some war going on in France. This was in France somewhere. And he joins the army. And after some time, he becomes injured, loses his leg. One leg loses his or becomes injured. He is limping. And then he is discharged from the army. He comes back. Then he's struggling to find something to do, what to do. Then he's a veteran. One day he was walking in winter time, somewhere in France. And lot of snow. Everything is covered with snow. All white. Trees are covered. No leaves in the trees. Trees are covered with snow. Houses are covered. Cars are covered with snow. Everything is covered. No cars in 16. Everything is covered with snow. Then he's walking. Then looks around. Then a thought comes to him. See, this is middle of winter. Everything is covered with snow. The trees, there are no leaves, everything is bare, but snow is there. In a short few weeks, all the snow will melt when spring comes. And then the trees will start blooming, fresh leaves will come. Whole nature becomes vibrant with fresh life in spring. Sun shines, warmth will come, people will become active, all the snow will melt, things will be very nice. Spring, beauty of spring, fresh air, that will come. And afterwards summer comes, hot everything. Then again fall, leaves will fall. Then again winter like this. And then again spring like this, been going on. Year after year, like a clockwork, nature is going through these stages. It's working. Every season is beautiful. Then he thinks like this. Profound thoughts come to him. Then he thought, what is the power behind it? What is it that makes nature work like this in such a beautiful way? Every season is beautiful in its own way. There must be some intelligent cause or power behind it. So he is thinking like that. thinking like that. When this was happening, one of his uncles or somebody whom he knew, that person joined, this man got the news that that person joined a monastery to become a monk. This person's name was Nicholas Herman. So Nicholas thought like that. And that thought was there. He joined the monastery. What is he doing there? What do they do in the monastery? What happens? And he sees this nature and these thoughts will come to him. He keeps thinking. Then he decides, I will also join the monastery. He goes to a Carmelite monastery where monks live there. But then live quietly, they do their contemplation. They have their offices, they go to their temple, worship, they study scriptures, and everybody assigns some duty in the monastery. Monks, they do their work. They live their lives quietly. So he joined one of the monasteries. When a new person joins a monastery, he is a novice and he is given the ordinary tasks. They are not given the teaching task and all those right away. They start somewhere at the bottom. So he was posted to the monastery kitchen. So his task was to help in cooking and cleaning, scrubbing the floor, washing the utensils. There was no dishwasher, no electricity those days. Everything is manual. You have to work hard and clean everything, scrub the floor, hard work. Long hours, very busy monastic kitchen, many people eating there. So that's what he was doing. When he was doing all these things, he was thinking at the same time. Sometimes he would not even go to the temple, to the chapel, where other monks used to go, but he would continue to work here in the kitchen. And then after some time, he was posted to the shoe repair shop in the monastery, so he was doing that. And whatever work he was doing, this thought was constantly in his mind. All this work I am doing, I can do it as a chore, a drudgery, something to be gotten out of the way, or I can do it with love because I am serving the same divine through my work. This is exactly what Sri Krishna has said in the Gita, in many places in the Gita. Where does he say work is worship? 18th chapter, 46. Many places the idea comes. One place where it is very nicely, succinctly expressed in the Gita is in the 18th chapter, 46th verse. There, Sri Krishna has said, by worshipping the divine, how? By doing our duties as worship. We all have to do something somewhat always. Sometimes we have to do something. We can't be always doing ritualistic worship. We can do it for some time. We can't always be chanting hymns and prayers. We can do it for some time. But always we are doing somewhat. We are eating, sleeping, talking, walking, serving, whatever we are doing. If we learn to do all of that as worship, then we end up doing worship all the time. Our whole life becomes a beautiful, unbroken stream of worship. If you do everything as worship, you're always worshipping the divine. It doesn't have to be one kind of worship. So I'm talking this is worship of God. You're listening to worship of God. Then we go and eat the lunch downstairs, that is worship of God. Then we go home, do something, that is worship. If you keep that attitude only, work does not have to change. You don't have to leave everything and go to monasteries and forests and meditate. We do where we are, stay where you are, whatever work comes your way. We do it with love. Think it is worship, offer it to the divine, then worship. This is exactly what Brother Lawrence did. In the monastery, they gave him this name. Nicholas Herman was his name. They called him Brother Lawrence. And he was not a scholarly person. He simply wrote some letters to other monastic members. 16 of them were found. Those 16 letters are printed in that book, Practice of the Presence of God. And another professor of philosophy in that area, he somehow came across this Brother Lawrence. He was impressed by this person's devotion. So he had conversations with this person. That professor wrote down the main points of that conversation. Those, I think 4 of those notes are presented in this book. There's a small, nice book. It is that book that if you read, you will want to continue to read. This is a book. You can buy from any bookstore. Practice the Presence of God. by Brother Lawrence. This is what is Siddha Prajna. Whatever work has to be done, pleasant, unpleasant, we should not worry about it. We should keep our likes and dislikes aside. We cannot always, everybody cannot always be doing something that we like to do. Unpleasant things, or disagreeable things, painful things, they all come our way. Along with good things, nice things we enjoy doing. Whatever comes, we do it nicely, calmly, with love. Love is the key thing here. With devotion, use and worship, offer it. Do not become it. I don't expect any return to come to you from that work. I've done all this work, people should praise me or I should get reward. No such expectation. It is done, offered, dedicated, free. Something comes, you accept. Nothing comes, that's okay too. No expectation. That kind of detached performance of duties. Detached does not mean without love or perfunctorily. With love, nicely, with devotion, if you do, what becomes enjoyable. It is no longer drudgery, but enjoyable work. Whenever we get a chance to do some work like doing dishes or something, ordinary chores, we should think this is such a lovely opportunity for me. The Lord has given. It's a wonderful, easy, simple way to serve Him, serving Him. If you keep that attitude in mind, everything becomes enjoyable. Peace of mind will be there. And we enjoy our work, peace, and we are always happy. That is the gift of Brother Lawrence. What Sri Krishna said in the Gita, I don't think he read Gita, but exactly the truth is always same. Whether you read it in Gita or someplace else, truth is eternal. It's always been there. So this is what he was a Siddha Prajna. He was a perfect Siddha Prajna because his focus, his attention was always on the divine. Whatever he was doing with love. He remained detached, didn't expect any reward for his work. Who would reward him for doing work in the monastery kitchen? You do your work, that's all. You are given that what you are doing. Some people may thank you, some people may not even say thank you. They come and eat and they go. But that is the opportunity we have to serve. This is a beautiful idea. Yes, sarvatra anabhisneha, without clinging to the fruits of our work. Tat tat pratya shubha shubham. Some people may praise you for what you do. Compliment you, oh, such a nice worker you are. You're washing your dishes nicely. Many people don't hear that kind of compliment. You wash your dishes, that's all. Has anybody come and told you, you washed your dishes very nicely today? Everything is sparkling? I don't think you hear that compliment from your spouse or somebody else. You just keep doing it, that is all. And then that itself is the reward. The opportunity to do work itself is the greatest reward that we enjoy, that we dedicate it to Him. You know what happens? Peace will come. Enjoy tremendously whatever you do. And not be swayed by your likes and I like this work, I enjoy it more, I want to do it more. This work I don't like, I want to escape. But not, it should not be there. You know where that idea comes? All work is to be done with love. In Gita, Sri Krishna says, whether work is agreeable or disagreeable, is same to me. That is what Brother Lawrence did. He practiced this. It doesn't have to be read in the Gita in Sanskrit, but that idea can be practiced by anybody. Nadveshya akushalam karma. Akushalam karma is disagreeable work. Like snow falls and we have to clear the driveway, hoping that somebody else will do. But the other person also hoping that you will do. You have to clear the driveway, otherwise the walkway in front of your house, otherwise it is going to give you fine. Brother Lawrence is a perfect example of this studying Siddha Prajna, perfect Siddha Prajna. Such a person, beautiful life. These short biographies in that book, Practice of the Presence of God. Let us stop here now.